Good evening, horror movie fans. Welcome to another episode of Tay J's Horror Slays. I'm your host, Taylor Lynn,
I'm Jay Chris.
and we'll be diving into a movie that I've been dying to see, which is Barbarian. So let's get it. Get your popcorn ready and let's go.
Let's go. This movie was released on September 9th, 2022, directed by Zach Kreger, 93% on Rotten Tomatoes, starring Bill Skarsgård, Justin Long, Georgina Campbell, Richard Brake, and Matthew Patrick Davis.
So this is a movie I've been really kind of like, okay, I want to see it. I put it in my, my Rolodex in my mind of movies I want to see. And I finally had watched it today. Do not judge me, y'all. Okay. But there is a lot to unpack about this movie. I want to start in the beginning as far as, when it first came on the scenes, opening credits. Excuse me. They're great so far. I like the ominous feeling with the thunderstorm in the house. Excuse me, because it kind of gave you that feeling of, okay, what's going on? I mean, in my mind, I was kind of like, I looked around a little bit and it was kind of like, okay, creepy street, nobody's really there, that kind of thing. So it was kind of interesting to see so far. But the moment she walked up and she had put the code in, it was incorrect, and she did it twice, and I was like, I would have done it twice too. But there was, to me, so many parts about that where I feel like she could have walked away. She was already kind of skeptical, and I think that's what made the movie really good, especially in the beginning, is that she was very skeptical about what was going on. And she took her time, she hesitated, even when the guy had answered the door. I think that was a good observation on her part, was to be a little hesitant. So that's kind of where I was at. Like, how did the movie take you in the beginning?
Well, in the beginning, when I first was watching it, the funny thing is that initial scene, for whatever reason, I pictured Don't Breathe, and I thought it was going to be that kind of like scene where in Don't Breathe, where you see him and he's dragging the girl down the street, and then you later on see where that scene was coming from later on in the movie. Right. That's kind of what I thought was going on. Like, I thought it was going to be like some kind of scene, and it wasn't going to really be prevalent to the story until later on in the movie type of thing.
Yeah.
But I agree with everything you said. I as I was watching it the first time, I was like, I'm glad that she's taking this serious, because not only does this guy look, I don't care, I'm sorry, but not only does this guy look like a serial killer, but he's being a little weird. Like, it feels like he's being too nice, if that makes sense. And he seemed a little too helpful, and it's like, I mean, I don't want to go around saying like you need to be cynical and distrust everyone, but in this world, you gotta be wary of things, especially when people seem to be like overly trying to like for example, like, you already see that she is uncomfortable with the situation, and you're overly trying to compensate to try to make her feel comfortable, which in turn is only making her feel more uncomfortable. And yeah, I feel like she did a great job with checking everything, being like, no, I don't want your tea. I don't want your wine. I'm gonna use the bathroom. I'm gonna lock everything. I'm gonna lock the door. When I'm going to when she does finally decide to stay, when I go into the room, I'm gonna lock the door. Like, every time I move from one place to another, I'm locking the doors. I see that you left your wallet. I'm taking a picture of your ID. Like she's just checking all her boxes before she thinks about possibly staying with this guy.
I mean, I agree. I feel like she for the most part, she had so many great moments in the beginning. It kind of reminded me, I'll get to that later, but in the end it reminded me of Don't Breathe. In the beginning, it definitely reminded me of Jeepers Creepers with, not Derry, with Trish being the smart person in the movie, and then she just completely just lost every. It's like the writers just had to like kill her towards the end, like where it was just like you killed everything that she was towards the end of the movie. She was extremely intelligent, like, well, I'll say the middle towards the end. Let me rephrase that. But you ruined all her her great character attributes. That's how I felt about it. But let me go back to the beginning just a slight bit. Like the moment that key was missing when she opened the lockbox, I would have left. It's dark and raining. Absolutely not. So, okay, there's a couple things I feel about that. I think it's both embedded in my DNA as a melanated person, or aka black for those of us who don't like to use those terms. I like to use melanated. But also I feel like as a horror movie fan, there was nothing in me that would have wanted to stay at that moment. And then when the light came on, because the light comes on, she looks, and then she's like, oh, it's somebody must be in there. That would have not been the green light for me. I would have turned around and kept it pushing. Like, she was just a little too curious for me, and I was just like, yeah, no. I mean, if I didn't leave before with the key not being there, because I had a situation like that before with one of my clients. I was cleaning. I came to clean the facility, and I came to the door. I didn't even get to put the code in the lockbox, and it was open. I had opened the door. I said hello twice. Nobody answered. I end up calling, like how she did, call the person or whatever the hell. But I end up calling, and that person didn't answer. But I sent him a text, whatever, etc., etc. But he got back to me within like 2 minutes. I was like, oh yeah, I got such and such there to do whatever work that was good getting done. And I was like, oh, okay, because I refuse. And like when I talked to the guy, like he was on the phone with the guy when I had came in and whatever, and he was just like, oh yeah, you had to make sure. He's like, you want to not be in danger. I said, oh yeah, I don't play those type of games. I said, I watch way too many scary movies for that. That's all I need is to come up in here thinking I'm safe, and then I ended up getting slaughtered because somebody broke into the house. And lo and behold, had I saw Barbarian before that situation, I would have called as soon as I walked up and seen the lockbox open. I'd be like, yeah, no. Like, I wouldn't even open the door and said hello. I'd have just been like, so what's going on here? Like, so absolutely not. And then there was also like, I'm trying to refrain from saying so much. Oh my goodness. But yeah, so there was a point where she had eventually, like, they were talking, he asked to see her reservation because he wanted to make sure it was the correct day and time. And I admit he did have some really awkward tendencies. And I think that the movie did that on purpose because they wanted us to be like, okay, it's him or her. It's awkward. Like, and I ain't gonna lie to you, they did a great job because I was like, no, especially when he was awkwardly explaining about the wine and how she didn't drink her tea. Excuse me, and why he didn't open the wine right there in front of her. I was just kind of like, I mean, it makes sense. However, his explanation, the way he's trying to explain it to her, is just kind of like, So, like I said, I mean, I probably would have taken it, but like the wine, because I'm literally watching you open it. But they had a great time. They talked, and it was a nice, cool moment because it was like, oh, okay, like it makes you kind of lower your guard a little bit, but you're still on guard with it. But I feel like the key point in all of that, when she started getting stupid for me, is when she asked for his reservation late. Ma'am, it's too late. I'm not saying that she couldn't still see it, but you asked for it after you guys had talked, had a good time, and like before they were having a great time, like they were still like talking and like being friendly with each other, and it's just like, you already kind of agreed to stay here. Like, why are you asking him for this now? Like, you should have asked when he asked. Like, it should have been a tit for tat thing. Oh, you want to see mine? Let me see yours. And that's just where I was at. That was to me, the start of where she started losing her intelligence.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I guess I think her mind was so focused on the trying to make sure that all her ducks were in a row as far as like not getting killed by this guy, that it probably came to her mind a little late. Not that I'm giving her an excuse on the I'm not trying to give her an excuse on her stupidity throughout the movie,
Right.
but when your brain is like hyper focused on specific scenario points in an interaction, important details like that can go to the wayside and then come back up later. So
I guess.
It's true. I mean, I've had it happen where I'm thinking, I'm so focused on one thought process, like, oh, I gotta, like, for example, like, I gotta make sure I remember this specific thing. Other details about the day will fall by the wayside, and then later on I'll be like, oh, dang, I cannot believe I forgot to do that, type of thing. So like I said, I'm not trying to give her an excuse or downplay her stupidity, because she did a lot of things that was pretty dumb even after that. Like, okay, I know that you're you're more comfortable with him now, but you was locking the door all the other times, but now that it's time to go to bed, you go back into the room, you forget to lock the door.
Right.
I was like, what are you doing? This was before, and the funny thing is, when she walked into the room, when I first seen it, I thought it. I was like, why didn't you lock the door? Especially because they made sure to pinpoint that she was doing that every other time. So when she came in and didn't lock the door, I immediately noticed it, and I'm like, why didn't you lock the door? And then the next scene, she's waking up to the door being open, and it's like, see, you're stupid. And at this point, I was still wary of this dude, so I'm like, yo, he definitely about to kill you. Or I thought she was going to like open her eyes and he was going to be standing at the foot of the bed or something crazy like that, So like I was like, yeah, you're wilding. So, and she just and like you said, like, and she just progressively got dumber and dumber. Even past that, it's like she just kept doing stuff, and you're just like, oh my gosh, like, what happened to the smartness you came into this house with? Why didn't you, like, why are you just letting things just slide now? Like, it don't make sense to me,
Yeah, I feel like it left her, like I said, at some point, and then once it left, it just kept going down from there. There's, I don't want to say it like that, but there's not so much depth that I want to go into the movie. But I will say the transition from her being stupidly, I mean, she had like cool moments, but it was still stupid. Like when she had put the mirror up so she could see inside of there and all that stuff and see it behind her and all that stuff. It was really cool. But it's like she just kept going. And I'm just like, girl. And like then when she saw the guy Keith, the one that she liked or whatever, and she put the keys to the window because she was locked in there. I mean, it's a good thing she did. I probably wouldn't have did that because I would assume that he did it. That would have been my thought. So I would have been stuck in there. But yeah, her going back down there, seeing him get his head bashed. First of all, he had his head bashed in because she wouldn't shut the hell up too. Let me just state that.
Yeah, because he is over there whispering.
He's like, be quiet. Somebody's down. I can't. I'm like, shut the fuck up. This movie made me irritated. Like, it just brought me back to throwback, or not to say throwback, but common horror movies. That's the thing. The protagonist. Shut up. I do realize people panic. Don't get me wrong. But you see it in movies for the most part, like movies like not Get Out, but A Quiet Place, where you see people for the most part are shutting the fuck up because they know they have to. You know what I mean? Like, so I don't wrong. I'm not gonna say there's not a bunch of dumb people in the world that are gonna scream and act a damn fool, but for the most part, that's why you see those things in those type of movies where you have to be quiet or like don't breathe, because most people will shut the fuck up when they see that type of danger coming near them. But that whole premise about that woman and the guy, raping all the women and stuff, and her wanting to be a mom, it was just really sad on the low. But I mean, at the same time, that rapist guy, because I'm gonna keep saying it, because they never said that we never got shown that he didn't. So, and when he was all like, ugh, I didn't expect that. Wow. Anyway, what the hell did he say when he was like, oh, I shouldn't have done it or whatever? He's basically making a confession. And I'm like, oh, so you did do it, motherfucker. I knew you did it. But yeah, it's just kind of like he was a spineless little punk, because he really just like, first of all, she was saying like, yo, she wants you to be her baby. And he just wouldn't just accept that. Like, he was just acting crazy. And then she even left and escaped and still tried to go back and save him. And Broham pushed her off a water tower.
Before we even get there, I mean, yes, he did do that. But before, I don't care what nobody say. I know it's dark in those tunnels and everything, but I don't care what nobody say. She was standing in front of a room full of lights. The light was shining on her face. He comes around the corner with his own light shining on her face, and then he shoots her. I'm just like, bitch. Oh, yeah,
she said, hella. She didn't get that low part out. She said, hella.
Yeah, I'm like, yo, you. I don't care, man. I feel like he did that on purpose, man. I just do. Like, I feel like he did so many things on purpose where it's just like, bruh, like you said, like the stubbornness of not wanting to drink from the bottle. Like, bitch, if you don't drink the shit, because if she gets mad and hurts me because you're dumb ass, we're gonna have problems.
Facts. And she made it a point to try to explain that to him, like, she's gonna hurt you if you do not drink from it. And then remember, like, even right before that, like, he was seeing all this creepy shit, and he was like, I'm gonna measure the rooms, because they said that you could basically rent them out and do this, that, and the third. And I'm like, bro, all this scary shit, you could give a fuck. You said it. You was like, it's all about the money for him, so it don't matter. I'm like, yo, you're a piece of shit.
Literally, like him. Okay, you find a secret hallway, whatever. That's fine, and you want to measure it. Okay, I'm cool with that. But once you get to that first room, there is a dirty bed, a camera, and a bucket that looks like, and the way the room is set up, it looks like somewhere you have someone trapped.
And the bloody hand on the wall.
And the bloody hand, yeah, the bloody hand on the wall, like all of these things. And he's just like, okay, let me move this around. I'm gonna keep measuring. Okay. He's stupid to me for that not to register, but then he finds another passageway. He's still measuring down this hallway, another hallway, dark corridor, and he looks and he's like, what the fuck is this? And then proceeds to measure around these cages, human-sized cages. Like, are you stupid or are you stupid?
Birmingham must have been in the what's it called?
What?
In the presidential party, because I promise you, he was like, any way, by any means, I'm gonna do it.
Legit, man. And I'm just like, I'm just gonna say this. I did love and enjoy the camera angles that they used, because having the camera in first person and looking down a dark corridor, and she's huge. Like, she's huge. Like, this isn't a small lady,
Shorty's
okay?
definitely playing for the Lakers.
Legit. And she's like hobble running, like limp running towards you super fast. Man, I would have assumed I was dead. I'd have been like, oh, I'm dead.
No, but like I like that part also, like when he was looking down the hallway and then it was dark and he went to flash his flashlight, but instead of us being in his view, right, we were actually looking at him. Cause I was like, oh, that was a nice transition. Okay, I see y'all.
Yeah, I remember you saying that. And I don't know if you noticed this part, but when I'm just gonna say I don't remember his name in the movie, but I'm just gonna call him Justin Long, just because I know who he is. Yeah, Justin Long, when he found the other room where the old dude was,
Yeah.
when he got to that door, he turned his flashlight around to see her at the end of the hallway, and she like comes close, and then she sees the door and then backs away from him, because she knows that's where her dad is, and she knows that is not a good place to be.
Yeah.
And I don't know, that small detail, like nothing was said about it, but that small detail really added something to the movie for me, because I'm just like, specifically because when she escaped, like right before that scene, when she escaped and she was talking to the black guy, he said that, she's just some crazy lady that lives in there, but she's not even the worst thing that's in there. That next scene, when that happens, that's the first thing that came to mind. I'm just like, he's about to see the worst thing that's in there. When I first seen it, I didn't know it was him. I thought it was gonna be some, I don't know, some crazy creature looking thing, like.
I mean, for all the Teen Wolf series fans, I thought it was gonna be some Deucalion type of mixed breed with goddamn not Derek, what's his brother's name? Peter. I thought it was gonna be some crazy shit. Like Void Styles mixed in that motherfucker too. I just knew it was gonna be some off the wall shit. But he ain't lying though. Cause the father that could do that to his own kids and because he said he mates with the women and then the children and then the children's children. And I'm like, you nasty son of a bitch. Like, that just irritated my soul.
Oh yeah, and not only do he do it, he records it. He freaking that's why Justin Long's character, like, he was watching the video of it, and then he had to turn it off and was like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like what is wrong with you?
The same person. What you mean?
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's like, bro, you're a rapist too, but in his head, he's like, I'm a lesser version of a rapist. Yeah, because he feels as though, because even when he explained it, he was like, yeah, she said no, but after I like kept talking to her, and we were fooling around, and she came around, it's like, no, that's rape. Like,
and you know what, it is, first of all, let me just say that. But you know what, the one thing that I will say, other than their dumb decisions, that irritated me about that movie was that they kept trying to make us look at him as human. That is where it definitely reminded me of Don't Breathe. It was just trying to turn the good guy, bad guy thing on his ugly fucking head. And I'm like, I don't like, and I remember you laughing about it, because like you're like, yeah, right. I'm like, I don't feel bad for him. You're a rapist, bro.
Literally. Like I felt like that too. I'm just like, you just keep trying to make me feel bad for Justin Long's character, but he's not a good person, you know? Like even if, let's just say we take away the worst part of him, which is the rapist stuff. Let's take away that. He's still a not good person. Like, he is a very superficial, very, like, he will freaking throw anybody under the bus to make himself better.
No, but literally.
Type of person.
No, but he literally threw her off the damn roof. And then at the end, remember when he was trying to save her? You was like, yeah, look at him trying to be a good guy. I'm like, yeah, man, you just threw her off of there. Like, she could have died and you wouldn't even care. And he reminds me of, what is his name? I'm talking about in the movie. He reminds me of Stu from Phone Booth. That's what he reminds me of. Minus the rape part.
Yeah. I definitely can see that. And, luckily for Stu, he was able to, almost like in a,
his life.
Yeah, I was about to say, kind of like in a Saw kind of way. I was about to say, in like a Saw kind of way, like he passed his test and became a better person. But Justin Long's character never did that. He never got that opportunity.
You know what? That's right. He never got to make his wrongs right, but I don't even think we would have gave a shit because he's still a rapist. But speaking of Saw, let me just say this really quickly. Let me get this off my chest. I am infatuated with the way they did that. Like the newest one that's coming out. Because like it takes away from this long list of people. Like how all the movies did where they just drug out the long list of people that are responsible or behind it or whatever the hell. But I like the fact that, okay, Xbox. But I like the fact that they have the story with the people who've done what they've done, coming in there to girl pretending like, oh, I was better, she made me better in my life. And then they had the people that were supposed to care for him that didn't do anything, and he was like, oh yeah, no, fact, you want to play games? Oh, we're gonna play the ultimate game. I think that was a very good marketing move, and I swear on Jesus Lamar Christ, right sandal, okay, they better Firkin kill this, okay? Because if not, Ferk that shirt. I mean it.
I agree. And I mean it, because I've been talking about it ever since I watched that trailer. I'm just like, I can't stop. Like, every time I see it, it makes me more and more excited for it, because I'm just like, and it's one part of the trailer that really gets me. It's I don't know if it's supposed to be a cop or what, but there's a specific part where the guy's like, of all people you could have fucked over, you did it to John Kramer. Like
my girl Nene Leak say, he said what he said.
Legit. I'm just like, I can't wait. I cannot wait, because this right here is the writing. Well, I hope that it all turns out to be great writing, but that trailer is giving me the sign of this is going to be written very well. So yes, I'm looking forward to that.
Ed better. But back to this rapist dude. Well, the movie, but him too. he did everything that irritated me, to be honest with you. Like, he could have really been, I mean, minus the rapist part. Like, even if they wanted to keep that part and try to make us, quote unquote, believe in him, he didn't have any really redeeming qualities. And then like I said, when he pushed her off that freaking water tank, which was made it worse, I was like, well, goddamn. Like, I mean, I hated you, bro. I had like a little twinkle on like the corner of my eye for you. Like, I was like, oh, maybe he is kind of a good character. Maybe he really didn't rape that woman, even though I was listening to what he was saying. Like, but I was just like, maybe they're kind of like trying to twist it for us. But I was like, oh no, he sucks.
That's what I'm saying. Like, he seems like a person who would be like, because of who I am, I deserve your vagina, and you should feel honored that I even want you in that way.
Well, you gotta have.
But that's the kind of person he seems like he is. So it's like, of course he don't feel like he did anything wrong, because she should be honored that I would even want to be with her. And yeah, so it's like, and like you said, they were trying, okay, put him in a bad situation. He's still actively fucking up and like not doing, like somebody's telling you what to do to make it a easier trip, and he's still not doing it. Granted, him being who he is did help Shorty escape, because he got drug out of that hole, and she tried, the crazy lady tried to make him breastfeed, and like you said, dog, she's strong as heck, dog. She pulled him out so fast.
She was dragging him by his ankle, okay? Like, by his ankle, like it was a little tissue. Like, that's how strong I strive to be, because I work out 6 days out of the week. That's how strong I strive to be. Like, come on now.
Yeah, for sure. And so, like some of the things, like some things had to happen in order for the story to progress the way that it did. But I just feel like he had his opportunity to be a good person, and that was the scene on top of the water tower. Like, that was your opportunity to try to be a good person and sacrifice, like, I don't even want to say sacrifice, but at least try to fight to protect the person that you shot, who came back to save you. Like, there's a long list of reasons why he should have tried to protect her, and instead of doing that, he proceeded to say, I am sorry, I have to sacrifice you so that I can get away.
Literally. And it's not like it was her fault, like a situation like, I mean, for me, situation like Evil Dead, you better sacrifice yourself, bitch, because you put us in this situation. But that's not the case. And let me just take a quick moment to discuss the cops. They were real life assholes. Even the precinct that she called, like, it just felt like everybody was in on it, like some Texas Chainsaw Massacre or something. It just felt off. And I don't know how many cops are that many dicks. I mean, I said that many dicks, that much of a dick, but it just felt like everybody was a dick for no reason. Like, they were really like assuming she was on drugs. I'm like, even if you think so, if she's telling you just somebody's body, or somebody's being held captive in there, or she was being held captive in there, and the house looks completely pristine to all the other houses, that's your job, to get in there, kick down the doors, do what you gotta do. They assume she was on drugs. I'm like, she doesn't look like she's on drugs. She looks exactly what she said. She was held captive. I hated them, seriously.
I also hated them too, because like you said, the house looks pristine, the house is locked up. I just told you I was held captive and escaped. I show you the house, I show you where I broke the window so that I can escape, and they're like, No, the only crime I see here is the fact that you broke the window, and you're lucky we don't arrest you for it. What?
She should have threw him in the basement, to be honest with you.
Facts.
She probably would have got shot, but regardless, throw him in the basement.
I agree, because I'm just like, it just doesn't. I'm just like, I hate. I hate when I see lazy cops. Like, literally, nobody told you to become a cop. If you hate your job, do something else. Your job is to protect and serve. That is literally your job title, to protect and to serve. And your job was to serve her and protect whoever she said was supposed to be, even if it was wrong. That's still your job to make sure that she's wrong.
Oh, remember I was saying that? I'm like, when they pulled up, I'm like, you didn't even check her plate. First of all, she didn't tell you who she was, and that was whatever. That you didn't check the plate of the car you parked right behind.
Cars, because it was her car and the dude's car.
I thought, dude. Okay, maybe
not the one that she liked.
Just the other dude. Yeah. So yeah, you didn't check either one of their cars, and especially checking his, because he was already all over the fucking news for raping.
And he's the owner of the house.
Like, just so stupid. And then, like, I get what you said. Like, how the hell did they both book the Airbnb, like, without, maybe that was a supernatural thing, but how? But I don't know. I mean, going towards the ending, I just felt like that moment where she, well, first of all, let me just say this real quick. Like, when he was talking, it was like, yeah, I've been here for years, and she ain't never come here. She said, boom. I thought that was going to happen, but I didn't know if it was going to happen, because I'm like, maybe that's just a cheesy movie moment, but it did, and it was funny. I'm sorry. But you know, again, that shows the motherly instinct that she has over them, which was crazy. But again, when she was like, put the gun to her, I thought she was gonna kill herself. But when she put the gun to her head, and the little mutant lady was kind of basically, she kissed her lips, and she was basically, you know, touching her forehead like, you're my baby, and all that stuff. And she shot her, and she just kind of walked off. I feel like that was kind of cool, minus the fact that I wanted to see what happened. But other than that, I thought it was a cool move, because it just, it was sad. That movie is, I'll say frightening. I won't say scary, but it's also sad as hell when you really think about it.
Yeah, for sure. It's definitely sad and frightening. It made me be like, I don't know if I want to go to no Airbnbs no more, but but it was definitely sad, because she was just a product of her environment. Like, her father was like, you know, like, she is like, her father is her mother's father is her mother's father, like, you know, like, so it's like, and she's only known hardship. Like, you know, when she became of age, her dad was probably having sex with her too. You know, like, all, you know, she wanted to have a baby because of the tape that she had about, you know, babies, and she just wanted that so bad. And she obviously went about it the wrong way, but she wasn't taught.
Yeah.
So, you know, it was sad to know that that's how it ended up turning out for her. But I mean, what can you do? It's just like you got to protect yourself from her.
Yeah.
You know, and you can't take it out on the dad, because he killed himself. So it just,
one rapist face another.
Right. And that was a coward's way out, but whatever.
And I think he suffered a lot. That's why his oldest was sitting there coughing up a damn storm, dying and shit. I mean, I'm not saying that I felt like that should have been the end of his suffering. I'm just saying that he was, but
Well, it ain't gonna be the end of his suffering, but in the living world, it is.
You know what I meant, but
just saying.
I will say, I mean, it's facts though, but I will say that on a movie scale, I'll give it maybe like a 6.5. On like a scary scale, probably like a 4. And I say, probably is the lowest score I've ever given, but it's because that's how I felt about it. I mean, I feel like the true horror was for the antagonist. It wasn't for the protagonist. Like, I get that they were frightened. Well, first of all, multiple party fouls, all of them could escape logically and everybody would have been all right. But everybody was curious, and curiosity killed the cat. Except for, well, I'll say the last person. Last person was just a dick, and he just wanted to sell stuff and get money. But as far as the scary scale, because it wasn't really that scary to me. Like, yeah, there was a couple of jump scares, but it was just more so, it was traumatic. I'll say that.
Okay. My rank, I'm gonna give it a 7. Now, here's why. Because for me, it wasn't really, I mean, it made me not want to, like I said, it made me not want to go to Airbnbs, but it wasn't really frightening. It was just creepy. I mean, I don't know how to explain it. It wasn't scary, but it was like, it had tones where I was just like, bruh, I wouldn't do, like, that's why it's not really scary, because a lot of the things that were happening, I would never be in that situation, because like you said, I'm leaving. Like, I don't care how buddy we became. If you went down there and you're screaming help, I'm leaving, and I'm going to try to get cops to come back for you, because that's not my job. It's their job. And if they don't, I'm sorry for you. I'm just going to be completely honest. So I would not be in that situation, which is why it's not frightening. But I just think it was a good movie, because I can see people being so curious that they do dumb stuff like that. Everything that happened, I could see someone really doing, and I'm just like, yeah, that's stupid.
Big facts. Big facts. But with that being said, I'm getting tired, y'all. I'm about to get off here. I said what I said. But stay horror, stay creepy, and please, for the love of everything holy, if you see any doors randomly opening your Airbnb, just leave. Okay? And if you happen to see that somebody booked the same Airbnb as you, and it's not a shared Airbnb, child, hit the road, Jack, and don't you come back no more, no more, no more, no more. Horror fans unite!
2 fingers.